Alrighty guys, it's time to play PC Builder Simulator. Oh wait, no, we're just gonna do it in real life. Yeah. Real life isn't quite as fun. But anyways, let's get into what happened to my computer. Let's go. Alrighty guys, welcome to the studio in person so you can see what we got going on. We've got a HyperX microphone. Absolutely love this thing. This thing's done a really good job. Has the nice little pop filter, which is really nice. Got an extra little keyboard over there. We got an Xbox One X along with our beautiful Xbox ready to go set up there, because gotta have a separate thing for the Xbox. Also got this thing right here too. Yeah. Let's talk about that later. We also have this beautiful 40-ounce tumbler mug that you can get from the Combustion Gamer shop. So I would recommend you go check that out, Combustion Gamer Gear. You can get one of these for $30, 50 cents, if I remember correctly. I think that's what I have them at, compared to like $52 to $54 if you go to your local retail store or Amazon. So recommend that right there. Very important. Also, I'll have links in the description for this guy right here. Also, I have a link for my screen, which, by the way, Project Motor Racing. Look good. But anyways, we got all that. We got our HyperX keyboard, which was very important in this whole process of getting this guy back to working. So this is my Omen 40L, and I got him for about $1,400 in 2022, I think. Yeah, I think that's when I got him. So anyways, upgradable. That is the main reason why I got him. He has a lot of easy features, a lot of easy motherboard options to be able to upgrade, which is really nice, and so that's why we ended up going with this guy. Also has some nice LED options that we can work around with as well. So what we had happen was we had a Windows update. I did not really pay attention to it. Now, I had been doing all kinds of gaming stuff and whatnot before. Hadn't seen any real issues with the computer. After the Windows update, though, I started noticing that I'd be just, doing stuff on the screen, yada, yada, yada. And suddenly, it would disappear. It would suddenly say, your computer ran into a problem. I mean, I would even just be letting it sit doing nothing, and it would suddenly, your computer has a problem, and it also would just be walking away from it, come back, and same thing. So it kept doing that after the update, so that was rather annoying. So luckily one time I was actually able to catch what it was doing, because I was working on doing some editing, and suddenly it pops up a little thing of, your drive has disappeared, please connect it, and then poof, the thing goes, your computer has a problem. So that was a bit interesting. I actually just got to see what happens. So what ultimately I found out by doing a little bit of research, this little guy, my little WD Black, I think it's a, how much is this? It's a 512 gigabyte. This was the base drive that came with this lovely machine. This guy right here apparently had the SSD kill information on it that ended up killing it slowly, thankfully, because luckily I was able to do some research after I had noticed my computer doing this, and I was like, okay, what's going on there? Is it just the SSD failing? What's going on? And I was able to research and find out it's the Windows was slowly killing it. So I believe it's J2Cent. I think that's what the channel name is. I'll link that down. But he was doing a bunch of information on what's going on with the drive, and he's a little guy, he's a little stinker. And so what he said is that you need to be able to go in, found for his SSD that was having the same issue, you could go in, update the BIOS of the, update your BIOS on the system, and double check your drives and stuff are up to date, and that seemed to fix his issue, is what he said. So I was like, okay, well, let me back up everything. So luckily, backed up everything first that I knew to back up, and did as much as I could with that. And so then was getting the BIOS and stuff all updated on this whatnot, and that's when it decided that it no longer wanted to live, and it decided to corrupt itself, basically, where I could turn it on for maybe a few seconds, but then it would crash afterwards and would not do anything. Luckily, I could enter the BIOS with my wonderful escape key, which is very helpful to find out, and was able to get things done. So that was helpful to be able to do. Yeah, it was rather rather annoying that this guy decided to give up the ghost and leave me. So I had to make the decision to get a brand new drive. And thankfully, with the research, it sounds like it's a bunch of like these drives here. For whatever reason, when they put them in these systems, they had like information or code. At least that's what they're blaming it on, anyways. Code that wasn't up to date or was pre-production, whatever nonsense. It's an excuse, but it just that basically it had something on it that it wasn't supposed to have, and so the update killed it. So Yahoo. So that problem. So luckily I was able to get the Doomsday USB. I was able to get my new version of Windows 11 onto here, along with drives and stuff, which was very helpful going to Linus Tech Tips. Thank you guys so much. I've watched your videos for a while, and it's very helpful in, one, buying a computer. It's very helpful to go and learn about that. So thanks to those guys, but then also learning how to get the Windows back onto it, and then getting Windows formatted and all my stuff worked on the way it was. So anyways, but got a wonderful new 990 Pro heatsink from Samsung. I have another Samsung that's in there, and I think he's under the CPU, but he does just my game saves. So luckily took out all my drives, put this drive in, put the USB in, got this drive that's in there now formatted and operating, then was able to slowly get everything put back together on that drive for operating system. So got that done, hallelujah, through BIOS and everything. That was fun. Then putting in the I got a 2 terabyte hard drive in there. I also got a 2 terabyte the other Samsung drive, so put those back in. Hard drive instantly popped up. The other drive didn't want to really work with me, so I had to go through a bunch of different settings on this, which was fun, and finally was able to get it to pop up. And luckily all of the videos, all of the video edits, all of those things were nicely on there. So thankfully didn't lose any of that information, didn't lose any of the channel stuff, which luckily I have backed up on this lovely guy, my original editing computer, who lays on his side there. He's got an i3 in there. This guy, I don't know how many videos this guy produced, but it was a lot. I put this guy through a lot. He still works, so cheers to this guy. He does a good job. But anyways, got all extra information backed up on him. He was able to then help me get any information I might have lost on there. Unfortunately, Farm Simulator did not make it. So all the game saves, all the mods and stuff, all that disappeared. But luckily everything else through Steam, and I think I got some things on Epic Games as well. All of that's backed up, thankfully, through the cloud and stuff, and also was being on the drive there as well, so made it easy to get back into those. So luckily we're good on all of that. Some of the game save progress is kind of gone, but the majority of it's still there, so that kind of helps out. But yeah, so we got this thing back to working order. We're back to video recording and stuff. We had to buy a whole new editor because unfortunately the editor key that I had, the disc that I used, which I have a lovely disc drive right here, this guy, he does a good job. Unfortunately, that disc apparently was cracked, so I wasn't able to use him, so I had to get a brand new download of a editor. Got that installed, and gotta say, it works out pretty good, so that's pretty nice. But anyways, yeah, we got a lot of work to do. We gotta do some farm sim reconstruction on the computer, so that's gonna be fun to do. I gotta see if I can get my game saves, or a game save back to basically back to what it was, so I can continue doing videos in the timeline of what I was doing there, so that's going to be fun. And then of course we're back to working on the gamer prog stuff as well, and then also editing videos for the Combustion guys, so we're back to all of that, thankfully. So anyways, thanks to Linus Tech Tips, thanks to, I think it's I'll be linked down below, but I forget exactly, it's like J2 cents or something like that. I forget exactly what the name was, but anyways, we got it working, and I'm very thankful that I was able to get that done. So thanks to those guys for having the information out there for me to look up, because that really helped me get this big boy back to working. And yeah, very grateful that everything is working. Works out really good. So anyways, guys, that is the update. That is what happened. And yes, Windows update, SSD death and whatnot, annoying. Luckily, I do have a program now that I can actually go in and check the check all of my drives, all the SSDs and the disk drive. I can go in and test all of those, see what error counts and things like that they might be having, and be able to keep an eye on that a little bit better than I was before. But yeah, it's like I never had a problem with this guy doing anything until that update, so I'm pretty sure that's what it is. One thing too is that one thing I heard was that having a larger terabyte drive does help because of how these SSDs work, how they move data. Having more space on them really does help get you a bit of lifespan out of these. So that's really nice. So, anyways, that is the update. That is a quick look at the studio, which I don't think I have ever showed. We got LED lights back there for when I'm doing stuff in early morning or at night, and of course we got the beautiful working everything. It looks really good. So, anyways, we're back up and running. Sweet.